under the guise of the big bad cold called coronavirus, we also saw the relief and complete turnaround of COVID policies as we reached the midterm elections. Coincidence? Not a chance. The real COVID panic and problem ended a good year before we were allowed to get our lives back. Then we get our lives back about 6 months before the midterm election. So they waited till 6 months before the midterm election. I remember breaking the police barrier to free to free a local park and the tyranny of the government. Do you remember the parks being closed to punish the children into making the parents more submissive? Or how about the day I actually hung a flag at a local park? If you guys haven't seen this video, I actually hung a flag at a local park who seemed to think that hanging a flag on a flagpole could cause coronavirus to spread and kill grandma in California. While China is still experiencing the same dictatorship and control over their citizens as the Democrats did and their leader Biden did to us 2 years ago. Yesterday I mentioned how Shanghai Disney became a concentration camp when the army locked all the visitors into the park because someone sneezed. No one could leave unless they tested negative for the virus. Hours of waiting to leave because the dictator president there. China has had the notion that they can control a respiratory disease by locking down and locking up their citizens. The president there, Xi Jinping, said that there would be zero tolerance COVID policy in place. He is also basically telling the masses that if you can't get a cold, and if you do, there will be dire consequences. Anything from being locked down to locked up. Yes, in China, you could be sent to prison if you don't wear a mask. You could even be sent to prison if you don't test every day for COVID. And of course, you could be sent to prison for protesting this ridiculousness. More and more people are trying to stand up to this tyrannical leader, and they're getting killed or imprisoned. But here's the thing you need to understand the most. Listen carefully. Jinping was slowing down his tyranny over COVID. He relaxed some of the restrictions right before the elections in China. Well, guess what happened when he was reelected? He made it even worse. The lockdowns got worse, and as I said, even Disney was turned into a concentration camp. Now, back to the United States. Do you want COVID back? If you don't, make sure you vote to make it go away. You want to know what the Democrats and Biden have not been talking about COVID lately? It's all about the midterm election today. No mention of COVID makes it better for their side. If by any chance the Democrats keep power, get ready to take your masks off your rearview mirror that's been baking in the sun and growing all kinds of bacteria. You're going to need this bacteria-infested appliance to live here again. If they win, make sure this country does not turn into China. Vote Republican today.